Welcome, gamers, to this week's episode of Last Call Gaming. We're on episode 219. Today is July 24th. My name is Craig Perales. I'm making his triumphant return, the magnificent, the marvelous Mandrew.
We out here. Glad to be back.
Yeah, how'd you like the nice break? Because I don't know if I added up all the time, but it's at least a solid month. Hey, let's call it a month and a half.
Bro, time's just flying by right now.
Yeah,
especially with him. I'm like, where's this little baby that I brought home the other day? I just have this grown-ass man living here now.
Just a nice little succulent butterball.
He is. He's getting to be a little fat boy, but...
How'd you like the show with some replacements?
No,
it's potential replacements.
It's been good. It's been good watching other people do it, too. Because I'm like, oh... It's always different because, you know, we watch all of them. But I'm sure you enjoy, like, I've done a couple of things without you or, like, some of the streams and stuff like that. You always enjoy it more when you're not a part of it. And it's not that you don't want to be a part of it, but it's just maybe because you don't know what's coming. Yeah. It's the same way, like, how we've done some of the Power Hours, shameless plug. Like, when you watch someone else's Power Hour that's new or whatever, it's just so much... I don't want to say better, because even if yours is better, it's just the excitement of not knowing.
Yeah, surprising. And, we had a couple hosts, so hats off to Geno, Casey, CN. Again, trying to get Devin Collins on there, but the online stuff, we're still messing with it, and his East Coast stuff really kind of throws a curveball.
He's a flake anyways. He bailed on me for Battlefield.
Oh, I was reading something like that. Dude, you guys have jumped into a big, like, 20, probably longer than that, 20 text thing, and I was... Because I finally have my guys over here fixing the garage, so I was kind of busy doing that. And I was looking at some stuff, because I tried to throw in like little news articles. I think I threw in Five Nights at Freddy's and something else. But then I look, and you guys got this big old conversation going on between like, what's better, Battlefield or Call of Duty or something?
Oh, because he was playing Battlefield 2042 yesterday, and I joined in. And because I was going to play with him for a bit, but then my brother hit me up and he wasn't joining my party, so I'm like, all right, you're taking too long. So I went and I was already on Warzone, and once I'm in the zone. So he's like, oh, we'll play right now, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, you already shit the bed. I'm not doing it anymore, even though it's not his fault or anything. But they just dropped a trailer today for Battlefield 6, so we were kind of talking about it and just the future of Battlefield and stuff.
So, guys, it is a pleasure to be back. It's good having Andrew back behind the desk with me in front of the mic. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. If you can, do it right now and add a friend, because we slowly got a little boost in our subscribers, and we're almost at 20,000, and it'd be a nice milestone. Maybe we'll go back
less than 20 from 20,000.
We could probably shoot up if we did another console giveaway. I bet we could shoot up, but it'd be nice to get there organically. If you guys are interested in following us on our social media, our Linktree link is in the description. You can check us out on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. And if you guys are listening to the audio-only version of the podcast, you can find us on numerous sites. So go ahead and pick your podcast platform of choice. So one thing I've been kind of doing for the last few episodes, it'll be a nice, easier episode. I don't think we're going to do any questions, just some light topics. But I do want to stick with off the top. And it's kind of what we did. We mentioned some stories or some light news before our stories. And that is, unfortunately, that Hulk Hogan has passed away. I wanted to bring it up because we do 316 Day every year, and we drink. It's a day where we just watch wrestling videos. We all have names. Terry Bollea is his real name, and a.k.a. the Hulk Hogan. He passed away at 71. So just to catch up in case you haven't heard, Hulk Hogan, the star who took professional wrestling to the national mainstream and became the biggest money-making draw in the history of the industry, died Thursday at the age of 71. Florida police and the WWE said Thursday. In Clearwater, Florida, authorities responded to a call Thursday morning about a cardiac arrest. Hogan was pronounced dead at the hospital. Police said in a statement on Facebook there were no signs of foul play or suspicious activity, told reporters. WWE posted a note on X saying it was saddened to learn the WWE Hall of Famer has died. Yeah, it's really crazy because, I mean, wrestling's not really a profession that, at least especially if you're from the 80s and 90s, that you made it too long. There's a lot of guys that died in their 30s and their 40s and 50s, and Hogan, who's been around for longest, it was lucky enough that we made it this far with him. It just seems kind of abrupt that now he's gone.
Yeah, I feel like he just like doing something like a week or two ago or something like that. I feel like he was in the news for something, nothing bad, but I feel like he was just doing something or just posted something. So it is just kind of weird.
He had a new promotion that he was doing with Eric Bischoff called I'll look it up right now, see if I can find it. But it was a new wrestling freestyle league that he was doing, and I think he was doing something else that was opening up across from Madison Square Garden. So he did have a couple fingers and some pies, but yeah, I mean, were you a big fan of Hogan? I know you know who he is, but he's a little I know more, but I was a kid. Where was he at when you were a kid? Was this NWO era?
I think by the time I was watching wrestling, he was kind of already out, or maybe in like WCW. And I didn't really watch WCW. I didn't really start watching wrestling until like Raw and like Raw's War. So like kind of like that later '90s when see Boston Rise.
Yeah, so I didn't know when he was coming back into wrestling.
Yeah, when he came back in, was wrestling The Rock and stuff. And I think retroactively as an adult, like I've gone back and watched like a lot of those older WrestleManias or his matches and like documentaries and stuff like that. So I am a fan of his work.
Yeah, especially did the old yellow and red Hulkster, Hulkamania. Yeah, it was just fantastic. He put WrestleMania on the map because that was almost going to be a bust if it didn't go well, and it did fantastic. You just got to remember matches with like Andre the Giant, the Iron Sheik, Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, and then especially in WCW when he did turn heel and did NWO when he had his run with Sting and Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and all that stuff. So
I had that game, WCW versus NWO.
That was a great 64 game.
It was.
One of the nicknames I had was Craigie Hoyts, and then when we do our wrestling, that turned into Hoyts Hogan. I think I have my picture, but did you see that picture I posted? It was when me and Geno went to our first wrestling match, and you can get people to draw like caricatures of you, and this did me as Hulk Hogan, and it was fantastic. So my heart's out to him, man. I know he got in trouble with a lot of things he said and stuff that was in the past, but I mean, separate the guy, I guess, from the art, and I mean, he is. I consider the biggest face on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
I was like, even so, you still be sympathetic that somebody's lost a life, and that's always sad. So
yeah, so I got to give him a shout out because that is my boy. So unfortunately, yeah, we have lost Hulk Hogan. So with that down and out of the way, guys, let's move into our main story, and we are talking movies today, and that is. The first one is going to be the Legend of Zelda movie has been cast, at least with its first two main characters, Zelda and Link. It is set to come out in 2027. So this just says the live-action Legend of Zelda movie is on the way, and the main cast has been already announced by Nintendo. The Haunting of Bly Manor star Benjamin Evan Ainsworth will portray Link, while Renegade Nell's Bo Bragason is set to play Princess Zelda, with an official release date also confirmed. The highly anticipated video game adaptation is finally taking shape, and we can't wait to see it on the big screen. So I kind of want to dive into the cast a little bit, but there was some controversy circling this, and I just wanted to touch on it briefly, and that was that there was a big thought, and even some other podcasts, like I listened to a lot of John Campea. It even was a story on his that a lot of people were kind of pushing for Hunter Schafer to be cast as Zelda, and I believe Hunter Schafer is a trans man that's now a woman, and there's a lot of people kind of behind it. And if you look at the Hunter Schafer's look, I can see it. I can see where people were going for. But what I was just kind of not getting, I'm like, guys, fan casting is one thing. Official casting that Nintendo's going to do with their biggest project is another. So when I saw this whole thing about like fans backlash on it and we're melting down, I'm like, what are you talking about? You can't fan cast this thing. This isn't a Street Fighter movie, right? This isn't a Street Fighter movie. We're just throwing names. I'm sure she has credits. I didn't pull up her IMDb, but I know she acted in things, so I'm not saying she couldn't have done the job, but I think it was just really weird that people couldn't separate what you're fan casting and because someone looked like it versus the talent they actually pulled. That's as much as I really want to say about it. Anything else?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I mean, to call them like transphobic or something like that.
Yeah, they're getting hate
it's not like they cast the person and then was like, actually, you know what, we're getting too much backlash, we're going to back out or whatever. Like, all that stuff was just complete, like, rumor mill from like unverified sources, and there's always just people saying the speculation is this and that, and it was never anything like official. So like, what is there to even be upset about?
Yeah, so that was just kind of a thing that was happening. But yeah, they finally did cast, and you've got Benjamin and Bo coming, and these are really talented kids. When you talk about like theatrically trained, usually in America we say like off Broadway. They're both from UK, and their kind of term is saying when you're on the West End. Both of them are theatrically trained kids, which is something that I think you should really look for. And I see a lot more movies doing this. Instead of just casting kind of bright and early kids, this is their first job. It's like, no, these people actually have some talent behind them. So as far as Bo...
I'm glad it's not Tom Holland.
Benjamin goes. He was in The Haunting of Bly Manor, which I think it's on Netflix. I just added it to my list. I kind of want to see that. He was in an episode of Sandman. Did you ever start Sandman? Okay, because the new season's out. You guys should check it out. As Alec Burgess, he did the voice of Pinocchio. Even though the movie didn't do really well, I thought the voice of Pinocchio was really done well. He's in Son of Creech, and everything's going to be great. As far as Bo Bragason goes, another theatrically trained actress. Her big one is, let's see, she was in the Renegade Nail, The Jetty, The Radleys, and King and Conqueror. So I think they look pretty good. I was looking up their age. Benjamin's 16. I believe Bo's 21. So I was just kind of going to ask, how do you like the way the kids look? How did you feel? I don't know if you knew how much experience they had. How do you think the age pans out? I mean, overall, are you happy with the casting?
I looked at it overall. I'm just happy they didn't try to force some big name actors into these roles. These guys have some stuff under their belt, but they're not Tom Holland or something like that. So I'm glad they didn't force that. I think they look like kids. It's just really weird and it's hard to say. I'm just super skeptical about this and nothing to do with them, but the movie just doesn't sound great in general. I was hoping when they would do Zelda, live action doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand why you wouldn't do something like what you do with Mario. So I'll reserve judgment and crap talking for the first trailer and how they look, because they just look like kids, so they look young, but there's a lot of things you can change, especially once you dye someone's hair. And the only pictures of her, her hair is a little curly and it's not blonde, it's brown.
It's too fucking blonde.
Yeah, so just a couple changes and sure you can make someone look exactly like that. But that's never been more my issue or even what I was worried about. I'm worried about how the overall product is going to look.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, because one of the big questions too is, did you want to do it as CGI and do as well as Mario did? Because I think that does have more of the kid appeal. It's right. I mean, Mario, got to remember, went on and grossed 1.3 billion. But I think Nintendo's taking some interesting stuff here. First of all, it's them getting their IP back into movies and stuff like that. That took decades for them to do, and they finally launched a home run with Mario being one of the biggest movies of last year, year before, and then to change it to now be live action is not the move I think a lot of people would have thought they made. The safe bet, I think, would have been them doing it in CGI. But I think if you're doing out of any of the properties they have, Zelda is the movie that has the most Lord of the Rings type potential. So I don't know if I'm mad that it is a live action. If you guys are watching the live action or watching the YouTube show, I found the old IGN April Fool's trailer. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So that's playing right now, just to give you guys a touch with it. So I did want to point out just who's... oh god, is it going to freeze on me? Who's directing it, which is Wes Ball. He's known for doing the Maze Runner trilogy. I think there's only 3 of them. I've never seen the Maze Runner. And he did Kingdom of Planet of the Apes. There's not much more than that. I'm also maybe curious if that's the best thing to do for someone with this experience with this new tentpole project, because you got to assume they want to do 3 movies out of the Zelda. So, do you think he's a good fit for making a live action movie, since that's the way they ended up going?
I haven't seen those movies, and I think more what I would look for in them, or at least when I think of them, even with the new Planet of the Apes, is they do have CGI stuff that looks good. But I feel like if you just do too much of that, it's kind of almost my problem with Jurassic Park, where you're not using practical effects.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes something look good over time and currently. That's why when you watch movies like the old Alien, or even some of the Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, is the practical effects. So as long as you can find that perfect balance, that's more what I'm hoping for to get out of him. Again, I haven't seen those movies, so I can't say, it's going to be, he's the perfect choice for it. It sounds maybe like it is, though, because when you're using Planet of the Apes and you're using, those kind of creatures and things like that, that's almost kind of going to be something like Link's fighting. So you know how to set up a shot for somebody fighting something that's supposed to make it look real. So that was kind of my first thought when I was thinking that, okay, at least you have effects with that, because there's sometimes where you're watching fight scenes where obviously the thing's not there and they put it in post edit, whatever, and it just doesn't look right. You just don't feel like it's good because it's not well coordinated, because they don't, you don't have that physical thing there.
Yeah, and I'm also nervous too, because you can easily make something look cheesy and make it look like a cosplay thing. But after watching How to Train Your Dragon, I'm kind of now more looking forward to this being a live action, because it was a live action thing with CGI dragons and stuff, and I think they pulled it off fantastic. And if the more we move forward with tech and all that stuff, and you're getting people that are good actors, I am kind of getting more and more excited that it is live action, because I was originally going, I prefer to CGI. You can make it bright and colorful, you can do a lot of things, but if you are going to make one of them, that's in this big fantasy realm, at least I guess take a try at it with Link and Zelda, because it's not to say they can't remake a animated one. I was kind of curious, though, do you think that pulls them out of being in future Mario projects, or do you think they would actually maybe put them in and have those characters from the live action voice their characters? Because we know they're adding Donkey Kong, and they only plan on expanding on that. I wonder if Zelda and Link may be out of the picture.
I don't know that they'd voice them for it, because they would probably do like the Mario route, where you find like a famous voice that's gonna go good and fit it better. So maybe that kind of pulls them out of like the Mario thing, but it would be nice as far as like to see like Zelda or Link themselves in just like a little Mario reference, or almost like a Mario RPG where like Link's sleeping in a bed or something like that, or even still a big Smash Bros movie. That would be insanely cool. That'd be like Avengers event level movie.
Nice. And then finally, kind of what I wanted to ask is, where do you think they're really going to go with the story? Because I mean, as we all know, Link and Zelda go through multiple variations of what Link you're even playing, what timeline you're in. Do you think they're going to try to go for something that's original? And again, I always feel nervous when they do that, when you've got so much to build on. Or do you think it'd be more important to do something like Ocarina, Majora's Mask, Breath of the Wild? Do you think they should pull a little bit from something? Or, as a big Zelda fan, where would you like it to go?
I would like it to be, and where I think it's going to go is I think it's going to go pre-Ocarina. Like, this will probably be the first incarnation of the hero. I don't think it's going to be like one of those ones, because then you don't have to worry about the timeline or where it sits in the timeline. Or who knows, maybe this movie, I guess they could theoretically have the movie and then put out the timeline and be like, oh, the movie's canonical and it takes place in this version of the timeline.
I didn't even think about that.
But I think it would be almost like maybe like Link to the Past or something like that. I think it'll maybe be like a mixture of that and Ocarina of Time. Like, I don't think they're going to have him like age up or age down, but I don't think it's going to be like, oh, maybe a light world or a dark world. Like, maybe he's going to take power, and then over time his influence is going to ruin everything, versus, you know, some of the other ones, it's almost like an opposite flip side dimension of that world.
Do you think they'll do Ganondorf as a Thanos looking CGI character? Or do you think they'll make it whoever they cast be in a practical suit? Or how would you want it?
You know, that's the thing, is that one's the one I don't know, because I think both are very popular. Because I was thinking, like, okay, like, are they going to make him a man, or are they going to make him the pig?
Yeah, pig man, man bear pig.
So I think I don't know. I that one I don't know. If I had a little bit more info of like, okay, this is where it takes place, and maybe this is what's going to happen, then I'd be like, okay, that sounds like a man, not a pig version of Ganondorf, something he would do. So I really couldn't say. I think, though, I would prefer the pig for the first time.
I would like a good pig. And again, this movie comes out in 2027. We probably won't see a trailer till, depending on how early it comes out, 2027, maybe late 2026. Is there anything else on the new Zelda movie you want to touch on?
I'm optimistic about it, but very skeptical about it. I want to be hopeful and excited.
Do you think they'll just pull music that are from the games, or do you think they'll invent some new scores?
I think there'll be a mixture of both.
Yeah, because they got iconic music.
Yeah, there's no way that you cannot have it. I think it'll be just like how like Mario was.
Nice, love it. So guys, that's what we've got to say on Legend of Zelda. Again, not too much out right now. As it progresses, we'll kind of touch on it more. But at least we have the two kids. I guess we really can't call the girl a kid. She's 21, but he's 16. I think they look fantastic, and I really do hope they. I'm more with it now that they are doing live action than I was in the very beginning when we first heard about it. But again, it's going to be kind of tough to see until a trailer what direction they're kind of going to be going.
I'll wait and see how this next live action movie we're going to talk about goes, and then I'll decide if I'm optimistic or not.
So with that being said, guys, our next main story is another movie, and that is Mortal Kombat 2 is on its way. Its release date is October 24th, 2025, so it's on its way. We got our Mortal Kombat shirts on. Mortal Kombat 2 is an upcoming American martial arts fantasy film directed by Simon McQuoid and written by Jeremy Slater, based on the Mortal Kombat video game series created by Ed Boon and John Tobias. The film serves as a sequel to Mortal Kombat from 2021 and is the fourth installment in the Mortal Kombat film series. Now, what they kind of did beforehand is they dropped some Johnny Cage stuff. Johnny Cage has kind of been the thing that's pulling the movie forward, because I haven't seen number one in a while, but I know it ended with a Johnny Cage tie-in that he was going to be in teaser. So they kind of released, and I thought it was really cool, like this little kind of it's a trailer for his character in the world of Mortal Kombat. And I just want to read this real quick. It says, and it'll be playing right now if you're watching YouTube. Although the official trailer for Mortal Kombat 2 won't drop until Thursday, July 17th, which by now it's out, Warner Brothers has released a fake movie within a movie trailer for Uncaged Fury, a faux 1990s action movie starring Johnny Cage, who's going to be played by Carl Urban. You can watch the trailer. I'll have the link in the description for you guys. The trailer's in the style of a kind of cheesy 90s action movies that might have starred the likes of Steven Seagal, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Gary Daniels, Jeff Speakman, or Michael Dudikoff. So it's really kind of funny, but what I also liked that they did is they gave him a fake IMDb page. I don't think it's still up anymore, but it had all the Cage movies that he's been in. All the ratings on them were 6.9, which I thought was really funny. So as a teaser kind of thing to get into before the actual movie, I think that's pretty clever marketing.
Yeah, I thought it was very fun, especially too because I think that was the big thing a lot of people were concerned about is how is Carl Urban going to be as Johnny Cage, and just putting that out ahead of time, I personally liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. It really kind of showed the character that he's going to be because there's a lot of speculation that is he kind of too old for the role. You could argue yes, you could argue no, because if not, then you're leaning more to the retired, washed up Carl Urban. You can't have a guy that's 22. So, yeah. But you also, you got to be careful if you're making another one and you're getting closer to 50. So, if you guys haven't had a chance to check it out, go check that out. But as far as the official trailer coming out, it actually broke a record. Mortal Kombat 2's Red Band trailer is a knockout with a record of 107 million views. It was clear back in the mid-1990s when New Line made their first adaptation of the Midway video game, and is still evident today. There's a massive appetite for Mortal Kombat. Wave Metrics data reports that the latest trailer for the Simon McQuoid sequel has notched 106.8 million worldwide views in its first 24 hours after being dropped on Thursday, July 17th. The best ever for a Red Band trailer. The trailer launched in 68 countries in 47 languages. Mortal Kombat 2 opens on October 24th. So, very impressive. And if you know Mortal Kombat, you know how bloody it can be. And I was reading on a couple episodes back that the director and all of them were saying that this is something that's going to be way more focused on video games and made for fans. So does it surprise you at all that the trailer blew up? Because everyone was fans of the first one, man. When Sub-Zero slashes him and ices his blood as an icicle and stabs him, the trailers can look really cool. This trailer looked badass, and I'm glad it did as many views as it has.
Yeah, no, it looks really good, and I hope that it follows up with that too, because the first movie had a really amazing trailer, and the movie ended up, I don't want to say mid, but it was kind of like alright, versus this, I'm like, no, this looks great, better than great.
Yeah, better than great. So, what I kind of wanted to point out, and maybe ask you what you want to look at, is everything the Mortal Kombat 2 trailer kind of shows off. And obviously, Carl Urban is Johnny Cage, a washed-up movie star who becomes a reluctant hero. The trailer features game-accurate fatalities and introduces several new characters, including Katana, Jade, Baraka, and Shao Kahn. It also highlights the threat of Shao Kahn in the impending Mortal Kombat tournament with Earthrealm on the verge of destruction. So yeah, it showed off a lot of cool new things. What stood out to you? Because you're obviously way more into MK lore and you can find out a bunch of stuff. So as someone who knows all the games, how'd it look?
I really liked it because they had some of the classic stages, like the one where they're fighting in front of the big
bull
in the background.
So
some of the levels are really good. I think what grabbed me the most and what I was thinking, because in the first one, there's not really a tournament. They're kind of just almost like trying to sabotage them before they could get to the tournament. So this seems like this movie is kind of really plucking a lot of things from a lot of different places, because as far as like lore wise goes, it seems like obviously they're fighting in Outworld, so that's where Mortal Kombat 2 takes place. So that means there is no first tournament where Liu Kang beat Shang Tsung. So that the whole reason for even a second tournament back to back is because the first one they lose, so Outworld can't evade. Then the deal they almost make is, okay, we'll fight you one more time. If we win, you have to give up. You cannot try to invade Earthworld at all anymore. You're done. Versus if we lose, then you can invade, and then we'll figure out whatever from there. And that's what leads into 3, because after they lose 2, then he's just like, fuck it, I'm just going to invade anyways. So I think I kind of like the idea of squishing some of that together, because I guess realistically, since they do end up doing the second tournament, you could have gotten away without the first one. And you see some people in here too that are dead from the first movie. So you have like Kung Lao, he died in the first movie.
Yeah,
I guess spoilers if you haven't seen it. Kung Lao died in the first movie, you see him in there. Kano, it looked like he died in the first movie. You see him in here as well. So
I gotta watch it again and be familiarized, but yeah.
And then you see obviously Noob Saibot, which is the dead version of Sub-Zero from the first movie too. So that also is implying that or at least what it seems like, because I think he's been casted, is that Quan Chi is in this one, and he doesn't come until the later games, and the idea of him bringing back some of the heroes as revenants to fight for Outworld now is something from the later games too. So it seems like it's a mixture of 2 with maybe some of the things from like 10 or some of the other ones. So either way, I kind of really like the way it is, and it seems like the tournament's very different. I don't know if you noticed, like, when they're fighting, there's like lights in the sky, and it almost looks like it's a scoring system. So instead of a traditional tournament where they're doing like, okay, let's do rounds where everyone just fights one at a time. Maybe people are separated like Hunger Games where someone dies. There's like a big thing that goes up, and maybe that'll like mark, because it's red and blue, so it'll be like, okay, that's a win for Earthworld, that's a win for whatever. So I was like, oh, okay, that seems pretty cool too.
Yeah, it does seem that they do have someone cast as Quan Chi, Damon Harriman. So it looks like there is going to be some Quan Chi flavor. It is kind of interesting. I'm glad they kept going with it. There was a lot of thought that maybe it was going to, number 2 wasn't going to come because Mortal Kombat didn't do as good as they wanted it to do. Worldwide, it only did 84.4 million, which isn't enough for what its budget was on. So
it must have done really well on Max.
Or have some maybe the studio just got excited about what is to come, because there's a lot of things they did wrong with it, and a lot of people, I mean, first of all and foremost, you can say making a new character Cole instead of just using a character that you already had. That was kind of one of the big deterrents. They had a lot of bad dialogue. There were certain, like, even when you watch that trailer or watch the original movie, he's like, oh, it's his birthmark. What does that mean? Oh, he's had it since birth. It's like a lot of the dialogue was a little written badly, and it didn't seem like the characters were kind of sticking to the lore of what Mortal Kombat already had to offer. So I kind of look at it, and this one does look a lot more game focused. That just needs to be a little bit better. I think they need to make the action stand out more, and I think they do need to pull more from the lore. And from the looks of it, do you think Cole is taking a back seat to this, and Johnny Cage is kind of more of the main player?
I have that written down, and I hope they kill Cole the same way they killed Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat 2 Annihilation, which is an infamously bad movie. They kill him within the first 10 minutes. Because you don't really need him anymore. It seems like the focus is on Johnny Cage to be that grounded person that's like, I don't know what any of this is. I'm just here trying to, it doesn't really say like his motivations. It does kind of show like his career's a little bit washed, but not so much that he's like, okay, this is my way to prove myself. So who knows what the really draw is for him here. But that was something that I think made the original 90s movie really good, is you had Alan Ashby as Johnny Cage, again, who's somebody who's been doubted, and so he's trying to prove himself in his martial arts. So he's not just like a big stunts guy or needs stunt stubbles, so he's trying to prove his name, but he's not familiar with any of this. So that is supposed to be the introduction for us as these people, even though we know it, but for the general audience. And in that movie, you even have Liu Kang, that he knows who Raiden is, but he doesn't really believe that it's Raiden. He knows about the tournament, but he doesn't really think that it's like real or some of that stuff until later on. So I like the idea of like, get rid of Cole because he was boring and lame anyways.
Boring!
And yeah, bring Johnny Cage in to be that grounded pole, just like it was. It worked in the 90s one, and it will totally work here.
Yeah, I think when we see our next trailer, because obviously the marketing for this big one, I mean, it broke the records, and they had the tie-in with Johnny Cage with his like fan trailer. I think the next one's really going to kind of show us more of the direction, what's going to be what. Because this is now showing us Johnny Cage is in it, but I think we do need to know if Cole's going to be in this. Because even in the trailer, I don't even know if he speaks. He does like one thing where he has his power on, and he jumps off the cliff and things like that. But
his plot armor power?
His plot armor power, his MacGuffin, as they say. Not much more to say unless there's anything you want to add. I mean, I kind of just wanted to say I think it's cool that they're adding Jade, Katana. Obviously, we want Shao Kahn. And watching the trailer, even when Kung Lao's doing his spinning hat, this movie looks like it is finally made for the fans. And it's unfortunate to say that I almost kind of want to put in my mind that maybe you can just kind of forget the first one, and maybe this is the true number one.
I think the only other thing I really want them to change, they don't even have to address it. Just do not address it at all. Just if you have powers, you have powers. If you don't, you don't. Because there are people that don't have powers in the Mortal Kombat game that just fight and do whatever. Don't try to explain it with that stupid birthmark. And now Craig has it, but I beat Craig in combat, so now the power transfers to me. My power is different than what his power could be. That was the stupidest idea, to explain nothing that didn't need to be explained. Like, some people just have an inherent ability that maybe they don't know about, and some people don't, and that's totally fine. And they even kind of address that too a little bit, even though Johnny Cage does find powers later on in the games, and it's explained differently. But when he's fighting who is it? I think it's Geno that says something. He's like, don't tell me you don't have any powers.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm just incredibly handsome or whatever. But watching him fight, though, was really cool. Though. So hopefully, as long as you get rid of that, I don't need to know why these people can do what they need to do. You don't have to explain it. It's just who they are. They're living Outworld, or even like Reptile would have to have a symbol. Like, no, he's just a monster, and that's just his race, and that's what his people do. Like, I don't need these weird symbols and these explanations.
And I think enough time's gone by, and or the lack of likeness of the first movie, you can take this movie and retcon as much as you want, and I hope they do.
Yeah, don't even explain it. Just let them go.
Hey, if you got to get rid of the Mandalorians, let's get rid of it and let's make it into something else. So, high hopes for it, man. Glad it did. It looks like there's a lot of eyes on it, but again, I've been impressed with trailers before for Mortal Kombat. I'm hoping this one delivers, and from what we can tell, it looks like they're moving in the right direction.
Oh yeah.
So with that being out of the way, guys, like I said, it'll be a quick, faster episode for today. So we're going to get into, if you made it to this far in the episode, what are you up to? Where Andrew and I talk about what we've been up to, what we've been playing, what we've been watching. So since you've been gone for 2 months, man, what have you been up to?
I've been taking care of my baby, but I have been playing some stuff. Now, a while ago, I don't think I was on the episode. I don't even remember if we did one, because it might have been just after the baby was born. Final Fantasy 16 Shadow dropped on Xbox, and I believe in voting with your wallet, and should you pay for a game that came late to Xbox because of some stupid deal, and I think it was $60 or $50 still, and I'm just like,
really?
I bought it anyways.
Okay, I thought they did it on sale for $40 or something.
No, they did not do that. They should have done it like what they did for Death Stranding. Maybe there's our way to make up for you that's coming later. Obviously, you'll sell more that way.
I think I saw it at Walmart on disc, and it was selling for $40. I'm like, I hope Andrew didn't pay full price. But anyway,
it wasn't $70 or $80. So I say speak with your wallet, but I'm part of the problem, and I bought it anyways because I do want to show my support for games like that, and I actually really enjoyed it. So if it's something you kind of slept on, I thought it was good. I had a good time. I don't think it's as amazing as a lot of people make it out to be, because I feel there's a lot of tedious little quests for a lull in the story. But overall, I liked it.
Are you gonna watch my FF16 breakdown with the Brothers Take now?
Yeah, I didn't even. I completely forgot about that. That's cool. I can definitely go back. And
so there's a shameless plug. The Brothers Take. We did a Final Fantasy 16 2-part episode. First part is on their channel. Second part's on our channel. So if you do want to watch it, type in the Brothers Take and Last Call, and you'll find it. And I'd be really curious of what you say about how we kind of talked about the game, because we do touch on tedious side quests.
I'll bring that up on the next one then.
Okay.
And then this just dropped the other day, and that's Tony Hawk, the
3 and 4?
Yeah, the 3 and 4 remaster, what they did. I thought it was really fun. I haven't played those games in a long time, and I didn't think I was going to like it because I'm not really into skating games like that anymore that are arcadey, I guess is how you would...
very arcadey.
Yeah, is how you would explain it. Versus I like doing the more technical Skate or Skater XL. I play that every day. That's my warm-up game for everything. It's a comfort game for me, just, sitting there with the sticks and flicking them versus just smashing X. And I had a really good time playing it. I think for me, though... unless maybe it's just the angle that I was sitting at, because I played it a lot in the front room, and I sit at an angle on the TV for more of my couches, I felt like I was getting motion sickness, and maybe it's just because it was too fast.
Can you turn off blur or camera shake?
I turned off the blur, and it wasn't even that. I don't know if it's just, again, because you're going up ramps and then the camera flips around the other way and stuff like that. I felt like I could only play it for so long that I'm okay, I'm feeling kind of sick, I need to turn this off now. But it was really good, and I cruised through both of them. So I would recommend, if you're just looking for a leisure, little fun game, that one was definitely super sick to play. And again, it's on Game Pass. And
I just downloaded it.
I don't think I ever did it as a kid because maybe I just didn't pay attention as much. But it's nice now that I'm older to just go in there and curate the music. And I'm okay, I don't care for... I know I don't care for this song.
Cool.
And so again, it still has a lot of the classics. It's got CKY, Motorhead on there. So I had a really good time playing it. It was a perfect little snack game. And then the biggest one I think I did while I was gone that I wasn't sure about, and I know I was skeptical about it before, was Elden Ring Night Rain. I actually 100%ed it, so that means I love the game. I wasn't going to at first.
Did it get better after we played it?
Yeah. Once I know we had played it once.
But they patched a bunch of stuff. And
it wasn't even so much that. Once me and my brother, we were playing for a while, we got in with this dude who kind of showed us how to maximize a run, and so we're oh, okay, we can do this, but there's separate things that we want to do for our individual characters, and we can adapt what you showed us now to do our own thing. But after that, like, it just clicked so much better for me.
You can show me and then maybe I can go whatever on again.
Yeah, that I wasn't underpowered now. And I just went through and just, like, smashed it. I had such a good time playing that. That game for sure is going to be, like, my game of the year noms for me. Like, it's so weird because at first I'm just like, I just don't know if this is really it. I don't know if it's for me. Like, it's just so different. I love that game. And even after I 100%ed it, I was still playing it. I was going in and just helping other people because this is one of those games that benefits a lot too from having the Xbox board posting where you can go through and see people that need help, or when I needed something for certain achievements because you have to get random stuff to spawn. I put it up there and people would write back like instantly, so it wasn't a slog to get these things. So I had such a good time playing it. It was way better than I thought it was going to be.
And also, they didn't have single player in the beginning, right? Now you can play it single player.
You can play single player in the beginning. It's just, it was very unbalanced. That's something that they balanced. The only thing you can't do is you can't do 2 players, but that's something they said that they're working on.
Okay, cool.
And then as far as watching anything, just the other day, I just watched The Ballerina. I forget what the rest of the thing is. I should have written it down. But
John Wick universe.
Yeah, it's something about John Wick universe. I wasn't thinking it was going to be good, so I'm just like, maybe it'll be like a little mid, especially because I don't have like John. It's so good.
Good, okay.
It is really good. I would put it under the other John Wick movies, but when all those movies are, like 10s, this would be up there with like a 9, very close to it. It just, the lore they build with this world, it just keeps getting better and better. It seems like they do that with every movie. They just add a little bit more lore, even things that you think you know about. Now we're going to expand on that, like this one with the whole Ruska Roma. And it's really nice too to watch like Ana de Armas, because she's not like a big person. She's, like a small girl. So she has a completely different fighting style than John Wick. Yeah. So as she's fighting these people too, when John Wick's fighting people, sometimes he does get like knocked down or she's getting like thrown around like a rag doll during some of these fights. And so having to watch her like try to adapt, and again, it does have like that super really tight like gunplay. And there's a really, really, really cool like training scene that shows like how they grow up in the Ruska Roma and like the training and stuff that they do, because they kind of hit at some of that in the other ones where you see them doing like the wrestling training and stuff like that. I think you'll really like this movie a lot.
Did you say you bought it or it's out on streaming?
I don't know that it's on streaming. We did buy it through like the Voodoo Fandango thing because it's only like $20. I'm like, that's what I would pay on like a movie ticket. So
yeah, I was reading too that there's a flamethrower scene. I know that.
Yes,
and I was reading this person.
It's so sick.
They said that there's only CGI scene in there, or what is it? Yeah, the only special effects is when they switch. I think her out or one of the people for a stunt double. That's all real fire, all practical effects.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, really, the fire was practical. Or not practical. The fire was fake. I was like, it looks so good.
Yeah, so I can't wait to see it now.
That part is insanely sick. I didn't want to like mention anything to spoil anything.
Yeah, but when we get there, yeah.
But as far as the training goes, when it shows them like how to use certain weapons, like you understand why he fights the way. It's just so good.
Nice, so good. Looks like you've been up to a lot. As far as what I've been up to, as far as what I've been playing, I did go by Donkey Kong Bonanza. It is
IGN's 10.
IGN's first 10 out of 10. I think the first 10 out of 10 of the year, but definitely a banger for Nintendo. It's a 2025 platform game developed by Nintendo EPD for the Nintendo Switch 2. The player controls the gorilla Donkey Kong who ventures underground with a young Pauline to recover stolen banana-shaped diamonds from a group of villainous apes. Yeah, so me and Sam bought the Switch 2 a while ago with a couple of good games. But this is the reason you buy the Switch 2. It's fantastic, man. I thought I wasn't going to really dig it that much. It does have a lot of Mario Odyssey elements, but I mean, that's more of a platform. This game is a lot of busting up. You'd think you're going to get bored because it's a repetitive mechanics. You're busting into the ground. You're finding all these things. Right. You're finding fossils and all these things that you use for kind of coins and currency to... Because you can buy certain gear for both Donkey Kong and Pauline that give you boosts and things like that for sonar. It's a lot of fun. It's actually doing really well. It sold a lot in UK. Let me see this real quick. Donkey Kong Bonanza has seen strong sales, topping UK physical sales charts and leading Amazon sales in the US. While it sold less than Super Mario Odyssey's launch, it significantly outperformed Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on the Switch. In Japan, it sold over 10,000 copies on Amazon Japan before its official launch. It's one of the games where right now, because the Switch 2 UI is it's clean. It looks a lot like the regular Switch. I just feel like I'm using it more, like I'm engaging with it more. I'm seeing a lot of my friends playing this, and everyone is saying that they absolutely love it. When Sam and I started, we're on, you can call it World 4, but it's more like a Biome 4, because the more you dig down, it'll get you lower. She's been playing as player 2, as Pauline, which has completely separate mechanics. Like, she's blasting stuff, and, like, so for example, like, if there's a grass and there's rock, she can take the material, the grass, and then now shoot that over rocks and things like that, or vice versa. She can take rock, like there's these bomb element you can get. You can copy that, and now that's what she's shooting now is bombs. It's a lot of fun playing it 2-player. We're smashing through it. The boss fights are really fun. The only thing I would argue, or be kind of, I hope it gets a little harder, because playing with 2 players, dude, you smash through things. Because there's like certain things with enemies, because we've been playing it together so far. I haven't played it without her, but she can shoot from a distance, so even getting across certain levels, she can just smash things even before I get there. So I'm sure it's probably a little tougher playing single player, but I do hope there's a ramp in terms of how hard the game gets. But I don't think there is. From what I'm seeing, a lot of people are saying it is kind of more of a walk in the park, and it's just... So anyway, we're having a lot of fun collecting and finding everything, because there's a lot of collectibles, and so far, so good. There's levels where we have had one where it turns back into Donkey Kong Country, and it's the 2D platformer.
Oh, that's cool.
And the music goes back to it. It was fantastic. And there's a lot of secrets to go find that have different levels to do. You keep finding these big bananas. Every time you get 5, you get a skill point, and then your skill points you can use to advance different moves. So far as what you can transform, I've only gotten to the big Donkey Kong yet. I don't have the zebra, or I forget what the other one was. But so we're still playing it slowly but surely. Hopefully by the time we record next week, maybe we'll have it done, because I don't think it's too long. As far as what I've been watching, look at all this Donkey Kong stuff I had pulled up. I went and saw Superman in theaters. When Superman, here's the plot. When Superman gets drawn into conflicts at home and abroad, his actions are questions, giving tech billionaire Lex Luthor the opportunity to get the Man of Steel out of the way for good. Will intrepid reporter Lois Lane and Superman's 4-legged companion Krypto be able to help him before it's too late? That came out on July 8, 2025. I went and saw it with Denny. It's doing fantastic. It's sitting at an 84 on Rotten Tomatoes, but earlier in the year, it dropped. It was a 96% with all of its views. And then I think a week went by and they had 500 more views come out. And it only dropped to 95%. So a lot of critics are really... digging it. The cast is fantastic. I love everybody. Except for I don't really care for Jimmy, because they kind of make him this ladies' man, and I don't really dig that. Jimmy Olsen to me has never been
like Jimmy Playboy Olsen.
Jimmy Playboy Olsen. It's very comic booky. So and I can see, I was telling Andrew off camera that I can see if people don't like that, maybe you're not going to love this movie as much as a lot of people are, but you just keep in mind, because like when you see Guy Gardner and you see Mr. Terrific, like they do a lot of comic book type things. It actually did really well. The new Superman movie directed by James Gunn is breaking box office records. It earned $122 million domestically in its opening weekend, making it the highest opening for a solo Superman film, surpassing Man of Steel. Globally, it reached $217 million in its first weekend. The movie also achieved the second highest domestic opening day of 2025 and the best preview box office for a solo Superman movie. The other cool thing too is I was reading dog adoption went up 500%.
Oh, that's cool. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, because how much people enjoy Krypto. It's a lot of fun. I would say go watch it in theaters, because I mean, we're and Andrew were talking about this too. The sound, I mean, make sure you're sitting in a good theater. Make sure it's not busted up, but the flying, the punches, the abilities that you get to see. There's a scene with Mr. Terrific where he just kicks ass, and it's nice to hear it in that nice surround sound. So I had a complete blast with it. I think Geno just saw it too when he's in Newport. He said he loved it. Grayson said it's his now second favorite movie. I think you'd really love it.
How's this Lex Luthor versus...
Outstanding. No, I do have problems with it, and there's a part with Lex that I have a big issue with, but I don't want to ruin anything. Okay. But the way he plays Lex Luthor is the alien hating...
Better than Jesse Eisenberg?
Yes, I think so. Okay. I think you'll dig him. He is the billion-dollar tech, smart as hell Lex Luthor. And when you get to see him, man, even the ending, some stuff happens, and you kind of feel a little bad for him at the end. At least I kind of did. So, and there's some very mature stuff in there, man. I won't say what happens, but outside of the war, there's a scene that, I mean, I don't know if you'd want your 8-year-old kid to see it, but it happens. And so it does have a lot of mature things.
Hold my baby up.
So If you guys get a chance to go see it, go check it out. This gives me high hopes to go see Fantastic Four, which me and a few buddies plan on going to see it on Saturday. So I think it was a really, because a lot of hope for the DC kind of rode on Superman. Like, is now the new DCU going to be good? I say yes. I can't wait for number 2. And also I think it's putting more people in the seat to go see Fantastic Four, which is good all around for being movie fans. So that's everything I've been up to, guys. So that brings us to the end of episode 219, guys. Until 220. My name is Craig Perales. That is Mandrew Montemare. Cheers.
See you guys out there.